Afternoon, Cherries fans, and welcome to the latest in the back of the net opposition previews. Following the FA Cup game against Crawley, we travel to Berkshire to face a Reading side at the Beazley Stadium, who are in decent form. This opposition preview is a little bit different. In fact, I've known my guest for the past 32 years. It should be interesting. Welcome to Back of the Net, my brother, Carl Beazley. Afternoon, Carl. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, very well, mate. Very well. Of course, I know Reading inside out myself, but the recent form's been picked up a bit after a little bit of a dip. How important is it that John Swift is back from injury now?
Oh, it's a huge plus for us. He just brings that extra bit of creativity, and last season he had his best season really. He's always shown bits of it, but if there was one thing, it's probably consistency. And last season he was extremely consistent. Then he got injured, and we've missed that. But to be fair, Michael Elise's come in and he's shown great potential coming back in. But having Swift, it just gives you that extra bit. And I mean, you saw he scored the other day against Coventry from a free kick where Miles out, and he's just hit top corner, and he just gives you that extra bit of link up between him and Zhao, finding that final pass, slotting those balls through. He's unique in that way that he can pick out a pass. So it's great. It's great that he's back, to be honest.
And like you say, you know, he's been well known to score goals from free kicks, and you know, throughout his time at Reading, and you know, he's a very important part to the club. But just moving on to somebody that was mentioned there, Michael Elise. It looks like he might be back because he was an unused sub against Preston. How much of a relief is it that he to potentially have him back as well as Swift?
Yeah, he's another option. He's got a lot of assists this season, and he's a huge talent. I mean, I think the last time you saw someone with that much potential at a young age was Gylfi Sigurdsson, and he's just come in and he's hit the ground running straight away, and he's only going to get better. There's obviously going to be clubs sniffing around, and it's great to have a player like that. It just all seems to click at once. Richards is in outstanding form, really. He's got better and better. It's a good youngsters at the club at the moment, and it's just all seemed to clicked into place this year a bit more.
And Lucas Yao has been in fantastic form this season. He's actually scored 17 goals in 19 games. But he did have a frustrating Sunday at Deepdale, missing a penalty as well. How likely are Bournemouth to see a bit of a backlash after that?
Well, I hope so, but you can't fault him for that, really. It's a one-off. I mean, he's frustrated at the time. I'm sure he's frustrated about it, but he's been outstanding this year. And I might be being a bit biased, but I do think he's the best striker in the league. He's just all-round striker. He's got power. He's got ability. Score goals from miles out. He's just such a natural ability. But the only one thing is, whenever he's goes down, I just worry every time because he's a little bit injury prone. And I've never worried so much about a player as soon as they've hit the ground because he's just such a big part, and we would miss him massively. It's just a shame we've had problem. All our strikers have been out injured, really. Mite's been out, Puskas has been out, and all at the same time. And having Zhao back is a big bonus, massive bonus, and just got to keep him fit, I think, and hope no one comes in for him.
And of course, Reading sit just above the Cherries in the Championship. I'm guessing that there's a bit of a belief now that it could be the year that the Roars climb back into the Premier League.
Yeah, I think we had such a brilliant start. It was unsustainable. Everyone was saying we were going to drop like a stone. We were just enjoying it. After that, we went for a run where we had the worst record out of the 92 clubs, the top four leagues, and it was such a bizarre thing to have that such great start at the beginning, where the defence didn't look like conceding, to we were shipping goals left, right, and centre. And neither of them was our true self, really, if we're honest. I think now we're seeing a steady pace, and we're playing good football now. I think we're playing better football than we was when we were winning some of the games at the start. I think it's all coming together. We're obviously not getting. I think we had. You make your own luck, but we did have a few fortunate runs in those first few games. But now it's evening itself out, and I'm just happy now that we've steadied it. We've stopped the rot. We steadied it, and we're looking really good, really good. And I think now you can believe that we're going to be around the top six at least. But again, it's like with all the clubs. I think there's so many good clubs in there this year. It's just going to be who can keep their players fit. Because injury is a big problem, I think, and if you get one or two players out, it can upset the whole balance of it all.
Yeah, there must be some belief now, and considering what Reading are doing, and against Preston, they did play very well. Against Coventry, they played very well. And the only thing that went wrong against Preston was not being able to put the ball in the back of the net, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah, it was one of the more disappointing ones, really, because I thought we'd done enough to win the game, and it was we deserved to get that penalty. I did say when I was watching it, I was like, we could do with a penalty or something here to break the deadlock, and we got it, and he did. Unfortunately, didn't convert it, but it was overall performance. I thought we edged it, and it's just nice to have the consistency of we played well against Coventry, we played well with Preston. Okay, we didn't get the result, but it's not a step backwards, it's a step forwards. And I think for the first time, Reading fans have got something to look forward to, because we've had a pretty dire last few years. I mean, even when we finished third and got into the playoffs, I don't think a lot of Reading fans enjoyed that season because it wasn't exciting football. We scraped games 1-0, but football wasn't. It's funny saying you finished third to get in the playoffs and it wasn't an enjoyable season, but it really wasn't. It was something a bit lacking. But yeah, this season it's just all clicking into place, and it's the most enjoyable for a long time, almost a decade. Yeah. I'd say it's really, really, really looking good again.
I think it's the best since the 2011-2012 season, really, wasn't it? When Reading did manage to climb into the Premier League. But of course, we've mentioned Elise, we've mentioned Richards, Yao, and Swift. Do tell us a little bit more about the rest of the Reading team.
I think the difference this year, I've noticed the best signing I think we made in quite a number of years is Josh Laurent from Shrewsbury. He's been phenomenal. He's just so consistent. He does the dirty work. He can play football as well. He's not just a player who just breaks up play. He can play football. And his pairing with Rinomota just in front of those back four is just, I think that's made the difference. Just having them break up play out. He's such a big, and he just came to the club and he just looked like he's been here for years. He slotted in. He looks like he's a big character in the dressing room as well. And sometimes I think you can have all the elements, but if it's missing that one thing, it just doesn't work. The balance isn't right. And just having him in there with Rinomota, both of those have just been brilliant. And they're kind of the unsung heroes, really, of this year. They've just gave our team balance. And I think that's such an important thing in football, to have that balance.
I'm going to have to ask you to do this, Carl, like I do everybody else. How do you think it's going to go?
I hope we sneak it. Yeah, I think we will. I'm got to be confident, and I'd go for a 2-1 win. Hopefully Zhao on the score sheet again. But it's going to be tight. A few weeks back, I thought the two teams that would be near the top were Bournemouth and Brentford. But like you said, Bournemouth seems to slip off. But every team goes through a little bit of a bad patch in this league, and it's hard to call. The first game against Bournemouth was so topsy-turvy. Like the first half, it was, and the second half just went to pieces in a few minutes, and so I'm hoping it's a bit more steady than that. I'm going to go for a Reading 2-1 win, I think.
I remember after that, during that game, the first game at Dean Court, AD Williams turned around at half time on Twitter and said, he wanted a draw. He said, he'd settle for a draw. But at half time, he said he definitely wouldn't after that. And to be honest, Reading did play very, very well that first half. But yeah, like you say, it all went a little bit.
I'm just so glad I didn't text you at half time, because I was going to wind you up, and then I thought about it. I thought, no, anything can happen.
Do you know?
I held off luckily. But yeah, I was going to.
Yeah, you did send me a message the other day, didn't you? Just showing us the league positions have changed. Yeah, so yeah, we do have quite a lot of good banter, don't we?
Yeah, you done.
Well, thanks for coming on, mate. And
thanks for having me.
Not a problem at all. And hopefully, I'll be able to see you soon. Of course, it's meant to meet up during Christmas, but it wasn't to be, unfortunately, this year. Yeah. But fingers crossed. We'll have a catch up whenever that might be.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Cheers, mate. Well, thank you for joining me again on this opposition preview with a little bit of a twist. Please do hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button to be alerted to any new videos that we do here on Back of the Net. Following the game, we will have our famous free-for-alls, so please do join in on those. Tom Jordan will be back with his player ratings, and also do make sure that you do your Super 6 predictions. But until next time and the next video, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for joining me